If there's been one thing that the markets have been worried about this year, it's inflation. The global economy is rebounding, particularly in the US, which is expected to see strong growth this year following last year's recession. So far though, Jerome Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, hasn't been too worried about inflation creeping in.
Readings on inflation have increased and are likely to rise somewhat further before moderating. However, these one-time increases in prices are likely to have only transitory effects on inflation.
But there is one sector where inflation could be becoming a bit of a problem, and that's the food industry. Or more specifically, prices of agricultural goods like wheat, corn, soybean, and even cheese are in the spotlight right now. You may remember our previous video quite a while ago now on grain futures. In the third quarter of 2020, we saw grain futures skyrocketing and then cooling off a bit earlier this year. However, last month, the price of these grains began to shoot back up all over again. This includes corn, wheat, and soybean, which are now pushing towards those 2013 highs. Will it break them? It's entirely possible. The rapid rise last month is mostly blamed on bad weather in a number of producing countries. This includes dry weather in Northern America and Brazil, and on the other side of the scale, we have wet weather in Argentina. Although China can also take some of the blame, as they've been importing like crazy to rebuild their hog farms, which were decimated during the rise of swine flu. Now, soybean imports in China are expected to hit record highs this year, and additional corn imports are looking very likely. Importantly, that steep rise in prices is a potential problem for inflation, as these crops influence consumer prices for a lot of staple foods, like the most important staple food, pizza. I mean, Domino's prices are already pushing it, and they've been pushing it for quite a while, but hopefully they'll still keep those 2-for-1 deals just to balance things out a bit. I mean, even cheese prices are soaring right now as fast food restaurants are performing exceptionally well. There are even worries that there will be lower milk production alongside the higher grain prices, which are used as animal feed. Although, relatively speaking, cheese isn't that popular for speculators. I mean, I don't know about you, but cheese isn't really one of the main markets that I personally follow. In a recent USDA food price outlook, they showed that food price inflation had increased 0.2% in March from February, and prices are up 3.5% from the same period last year. Historically speaking though, food price inflation isn't that high yet, so should we be too worried about it at the moment? Have you noticed prices creeping up at your supermarkets yet? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. I appreciate reading your thoughts all the time, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.